Welcome back everyone. Time to do another quick little camera comparison between the iPhone 12 Pro and the iPhone 11. Now I'll show you photo quality differences, video quality differences, and audio quality differences. And honestly, I don't really think there's going to be that big of a difference between these two. They're both very good sensors. Dual camera setup on the back of the iPhone 11, triple camera setup on the iPhone 12 Pro. We have an additional telephoto lens, which is really cool, as well as that LiDAR sensor. So for the duration of this video, the iPhone 11 photos and videos would be on the left, the iPhone 12 Pro photos and videos would be on the right. And immediately, as I've shown before, these were taken at the exact same lighting conditions and everything. You can already see some pretty big differences. The filtering on the iPhone 12 Pro is better. The iPhone 11 kind of seems a little bland, and it looks like there's a really good filtering going on with the iPhone 12 Pro. And even on the back, you can see the bokeh effect, I feel like, is better on the iPhone 12 Pro than on the iPhone 11. And even on the next photo, it kind of showcases the same thing. Let alone, don't really worry about the way the photo looks, in my opinion, because I screwed up taking it. But you can kind of see that the coloring looks so much better on the iPhone 12 Pro as well. On the iPhone 11, it seems a little bit kind of bland, and even the bokeh effect seems better on the iPhone 12 Pro, but on top of that, the coloring seems much better on these outdoor photos. And I wasn't expecting to see this big of a difference on the outdoor photos, but for sure, the iPhone 12 Pro, I think, wins in these type of photos, and even in this one, it doesn't really seem like that big of a difference from the aerial view, but when you start zooming in, I feel like that's where the bigger differences start to arise. And when you look into this specific corner, again, seems like the iPhone 11 photo is a little bit bland, a little bit more bland at least, than the iPhone 12 Pro. It's not a big deal, it's not like a deal breaker or anything, but it is something that if you're taking a lot of photos and you do a lot of post-processing, aka filtering yourself, then it may be good if you just rely on the camera itself to do it versus kind of you doing it, by hand every single time in every single photo. Now in this photo, I stood at the same spot and the same distance between both, and I zoomed in as much as I could, and look how much more you're able to zoom in on the iPhone 12 Pro than on the iPhone 11. This is a classic case of how much better a telephoto lens is than that standard just digital zoom on that wide angle lens. So the quality is one thing, but the distance you can zoom in, you can zoom in much more on the iPhone 12 Pro than on the iPhone 11. Now that ultra-wide sensor, as you can see, kind of the same thing, but again, you can kind of see that the filtering is again going a little bit better on the iPhone 12 Pro. On the iPhone 11, it still looks pretty good, and distance-wise, it looks kind of like the same as like distance you can zoom out in, but I would definitely say the 12 Pro looks better in the filtering for sure. Now this was portrait mode on both, and it's very interesting because at first I don't really notice too many differences, and I would definitely say that they both support portrait mode on animals, which is really good. But other than that, I don't really see too many crazy differences between both. Even on like this little bottom portion looks about the same. So luckily, if you already have an iPhone 11 and you're taking a lot of portrait mode photos and videos, or photos for that matter, I don't really think you're going to notice that big of a difference between these two. Now this is just an indoor photo, and actually for me, the iPhone 12 Pro doesn't look as good as the iPhone 11. This camera did a better job at kind of sharpening this photo, in my opinion. I feel like the 12 Pros is pretty good, and what's really funny is I took these next photos all indoors, and again, this one doesn't want to change for some reason, there we go, and they kind of look the same here too. I feel like the iPhone 11 and the 12 Pro share a lot when it comes down to the indoor photo lighting for sure, and I can zoom into this portion. Again, I don't really see too many crazy differences. I think for sure the 12 Pro is maybe a little bit better, but both of them look pretty good. And they both also have night mode, which is really cool as well, and that's this capability. Now, the iPhone 11, for some reason, this photo came out blurry, but the next one I don't think did. But it's still very weird that this one was blurry and this one wasn't. I wasn't shaking, I took them at the same time. But the coloring wise, I think night mode would theoretically be better on the iPhone 12 Pro since it's newer. But this is the coloring you're going to see. I mean, these were taken in horrible lighting conditions. And besides the blurriness, I do kind of see that the 12 Pro may have been a little bit better when it came down to the overall coloring of it. And even with the next photo, which is actually not that blurry, which makes a little bit more sense, you can kind of see the same coloring kind of going around. Now, the iPhone 12 Pro did a better job at kind of coloring this little section, and it looks a little bit brighter and a little bit better on the iPhone 12 Pro than on the iPhone 11, but they both look pretty good, and night mode seems to be about the same on both. Now, I did do a video, so I'll go and post that now. Alright, right now we're comparing the iPhone 12 Pro and the iPhone 11's video and audio quality. Both can do 4K 60 on the back camera. The iPhone 12 Pro does have an additional telephoto lens. The iPhone 12 only has that ultra-wide sensor. Now looking on the back, hopefully one's video quality is noticeably better, and hopefully it is the 12 Pros. Now this video is being taken kind of outdoors in like a nighttime, not nighttime night, but it's like kind of like 7:30, so it's getting kind of dark. And I'll go ahead and zoom out and compare the ultra-wide sensors of both. Not that way, that way. And at the same time, I'll go ahead and switch over to the iPhone 11's audio quality. And I'm speaking right now from the iPhone 11. Now I'll go ahead and switch over to the iPhone 12 Pro's microphone built in and see if this one sounds any better, speaking at the same volume and everything. Hopefully one does sound noticeably better than the other one. I'm really hoping for that. Now, I think both are pretty much the same. They kind of look the same right now. Again, I could be wrong, and this is just one sample, but maybe they're both the same. I don't know. I guess we'll find out when my, full comparison, I guess, when I drop it. But both of them look kind of the same for me doing it right now, to be honest. Now that we're back, I can probably tell you that between both, the iPhone 12 Pro is probably the better camera. It has the better photo quality. The post-processing of that camera is awesome. You have that telephoto lens. You also have a LiDAR sensor in it. But I'll still say for the time being, the iPhone 11 is a great camera sensor too, and I don't really think there's like a pressing reason to go from an iPhone 12 Pro or from an iPhone 11 to a 12 Pro just because of that camera. I think the 11 Pro camera is still extremely good, and if you want, you can go to an 11 Pro and save some money if you really want to get something that's kind of in the middle. But I don't really think you should go from an iPhone 11 to the 12 Pro, but they're both very good sensors for the time being. So that really pretty much covers it up. If you guys have any other questions or anything, let me know in the comment section below. Hit the like button, that'll mean so much, but definitely hit that subscribe button. Every single subscriber that we get really does count. So it means so much if you guys can hit that. Also check out the other links down in the description as well. My Twitter, my Instagram, my other channels. More importantly than everything else, love every single one of you guys. Hopefully I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out till then.